All right, we are now live. I want to thank my guest Mark for being with us today. Let me do my introduction before we get started. Everyone, welcome everyone to another episode of Beyond the Comic. I'm your host, Sean Fuller, creator of Apollo's Run and founder of SFuller Studios. This series is all about shining a light on the incredible talents in the comic world, giving you a chance to meet the minds behind the story, learn about their journey, and discovering their amazing work. Tonight, we are joined by Mark, the creator of Juda 7, if I remember
Yep.
correctly.
Judah
Uh,
Fist, 7 Deaths of the Yobi.
yes. We will dive into the background, the creative process, and what makes this comic unique. So let's jump into it, Mark. Let's get started.
For sure.
All right. So the way I like to get this started is always for the audience watching. Just get started by just saying, introduce yourself. Tell us about you, where you're from, stuff like that.
Hi, I'm Mark Dudley. I'm from Metro Detroit area. I was born particularly in Pontiac, Michigan. I've been drawing since I was like 3 years old. You know the story. Got into comics. I had a cousin in Cairo, Illinois, who we go visit him every summer, and so he had a bunch of comics. He'd be read them and whatnot, and I liked them, but I wasn't hooked then. But then I was in this program called Horizons Upward Bound. You go to school 6 weeks out of the summer for like 4 years. So
6 weeks, okay.
yeah, that's what it does. It helps you get acclimated and do better that first semester, so your grades are better.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was in that program, and so I had a roommate who was into comics, and he knew I drew, so he was like, oh man, let me try to read some of his comics, and that's how I really started. That's how I really got into comics. I think I was like 12, 13 then. I didn't draw as much as I wanted to because I wrestled in high school.
Okay.
And my grades were, I wanted my grades to be better, so I didn't wrestle my sophomore year. Ended up getting a scholarship to boarding school, and there I really didn't draw that much because I was had no time, too much work. But I still kind of, practice and whatnot. Still read comics and stuff regularly. Then I got a scholarship to Cornell University, and they had a really good comic shop at Cornell. So I'll go there, and I drew a little more than I did in high school, but I didn't draw as much still, as I had when I was younger. I mean, but I was able to start focusing my craft then, starting to get to understand, the process of drawing comics and stuff. But back when I was younger, all we had was how to draw comics the Marvel way. We didn't have no internet.
Okay. It's funny. It's like DC Comics or Marvel. It's one of those two.
Right. But it's funny because in '85 though, the indie scene blew up. So I was big into like Comico, big into big into a whole bunch of indie comic indie comics producers too. So again, I followed the indie scene for a while. So when I graduated from college, I was muddling around, for a minute, job to job, whatever. I, moved to New York for a minute, moved to Texas for a minute. My pops.
We got another New Yorker in the building. Oh Lord.
I was in NYC for a minute. Yeah. And so I started drawing again a lot when I was down in Texas. When I came back to Michigan, I was drawing a lot, and I hooked that back up with my cousin Mark Jeter. Mark Jeter. Me and him always created worlds together.
Oh, hold up, man! You get into a lot of stuff.
I'm moving fast.
No, yeah, because what I want to make sure that everyone understands your life journey, yo. So I'm just picking
okay. So let me truncate it a little bit then, okay?
No. We don't get to the profession because I like when people transition from not just themselves, but it's like this is how I got into drawing. Writing.
No doubt. Well, I just got it again, like I said. I've created world with my cousins, man, and then start back really getting into making this world happen. But one thing, man, I'm gonna tell you, you always want to have confidence in yourself because I didn't have the confidence back then that I have now. And so
age and wisdom, right?
Right, age. So I decided to start doing pen and paper RPG artwork. So
Actually, no, I'm gonna transition because now you're gonna ask me to do it. So we're going to go to your background. So when did you realize you wanted to make this comic stuff professional?
Judith, you know what? I glossed over that entirely. Sorry about
Yeah,
that, man.
because I saw it. That's why I wanted to break it up because I'm like, you have a lot of stuff there that
I'm
I
gonna
need to
tell you.
cut back on.
Look, it goes back to role playing games.
Okay.
So we used to play this game called Marvel Superheroes, and then played another game called Heroes Unlimited, right?
Okay.
It's an RPG. And so my character that I've been using right now, that I have this comic on right now, I made that character when I was 13 years old.
Though.
Started out as a superhero character.
Yeah. Okay.
Started out as a superhero.
So now I have to ask now, because who was your biggest inspiration growing up? Because you said you did a lot of indie, but we also talk about Marvel a bit there. So who was like some of your biggest inspirations as artists, creators, or writers that shaped your style? Because everyone has their own style.
Right. I was a John Byrne fanatic. That's when I really got into comics. I started reading John Byrne X-Men.
Okay.
And X-Men. John Byrne is probably the foundation of my entire style.
Okay.
And so it really, like I said, he's the basis. Over time I started getting into people like Pat Broderick, Michael Golden, Art Adams, guys like that. But then it was really during the Marvel late 80s that it really started getting hot, because then I watched Jim Lee go from the Punisher to X-Men. I dug him on the Punisher, but he got the X-Men, man. He was out of control, man. Straight out of control.
Yeah, the Punisher is already out of control.
Yeah, right? But Jim Lee was out of control, man. And the funny thing, I like Mark Silvestri, and he was on X-Men. Jim Lee took over for him, right? For like 2 issues. That's the one when he brought in when you first saw him draw Captain America. You also saw him the first issues when you saw him draw Psylocke.
Okay.
Yeah, they created the Psylocke that we know in those issues, right? Just Jim Lee, man, is a real big influence of mine. My man Joe Madureira is a big influence. And I got a lot of manga influences. My main manga influence is Katsuhiro Otomo, the guy who did Akira.
Okay.
And my man Masamune Shirow. He did Ghost in the Shell. He did Appleseed. He did Orion. Them guys,
Ghost
my main guys, man. These my main dudes. And then my man Yukita Kishiro, who did Battle Angel.
Okay. And I hope they come up with the sequel to that. I'm serious.
Yeah, that was nice. The live action was nice. I got to be real. At first I thought it was gonna be sucky, but it was dope.
That's how I got exposed to it. I want to jump back a bit because it's like there's so much there, but it's like, man, I can see that it's gonna be fun.
I got a big history.
Yeah, it's the way I see it is everyone got story to tell, and I just like listening to stories, right?
For sure.
All right. So how did you? Because now we talked about how you discovered comics to be, so we're gonna double back on that. But part of the stuff I want to talk into is like there's a big difference between being a drawer, right? When you like to draw, and then there's a thing when you start talking storytelling. When you start wanting to put some action stuff.
From a writing perspective, well.
Yeah. So when did so when you first discovered comic, what drew you to into storytelling? That's kind of where I'm going with that.
You know what's so funny? Like I said, I was fortunate enough to come into X-Men when Claremont was still on there and Byrne was still on there, because people get Claremont a lot of credit, but Byrne is the one who put the bones in that series. Mm-hmm. And so I followed John Byrne. He just happened to be a writer artist. I followed him to Fantastic Four. I followed him everywhere, man. He was my foundation. And then I started reading manga. And I saw people
that's where I started. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, that's why I started seeing my people like Katsuhiro Otomo, And the thing is that I've been reading superhero stories up to that point. I didn't know that you could tell those type of stories, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's what made me transition my comic from a superhero comic to a sci-fi comic.
Okay, so you want to tell a story at that point?
Yep. What happened is I discovered I got a cousin of mine, or it's more like an aunt, who me and my cousin were going over her house a couple times, and she got a kitchen just full of bookshelves everywhere. My aunt does, man, and she said, wait for you to come over here. I got something for you. What? Gave me the first Octavia Butler book.
Okay, Octavia. Okay.
Octavia Butler, man, look, that was it. It was a wrap.
Okay, man. This is because a lot of people don't realize that it's like happenstance that leads into a bigger story.
Sure.
And so I just love it.
Yeah, man.
Before working on your current project, what other creative work or projects have you been a part of?
Well, way back in the Hinter days, I had a studio they were called Drunken Style Studio, right? And
not Junkie Fish, right?
Yep, Drunken Style, man. We was like, look, we was into Drunken Style. We were kung fu movie heads, so that's what we call ourselves, Drunken Style Studio. So the thing was, we did a bunch of stuff for a bunch of indie comic groups, like the group called Fifth Panel, another one called Blink Comics. We did work for did work for Acclaim, the video game company. We did a couple covers for them. Beyond that, working in role-playing games. I've learned, even though I've learned how to draw everything working in role-playing games. Everything. Because I've drawn sci-fi, I've drawn fantasy, I've drawn steampunk, you name it, I've drawn.
Oh, Lord. So this is more than a hobby, it's a profession for you at this point.
Well, yeah, my thing is this. Anything they pay you to do, you're a professional.
Hey, ain't never a clearer way to say it.
Hey, I've heard that one.
You're just an amateur or a pro. That's the only difference at that point.
My thing is this, though. I say this to you, and I know this might not be a popular way of thinking, but look, I'm a pragmatic brother too. So at the end of the day, I got to eat, and I need health insurance. So guess what? I'm gonna do what I got to do in the day job, and put on my art cape at night.
I like that you bring that up because a lot of times, people don't understand that life be lifing, and so
right, life be lifing, exactly.
It's like you know what you want to do, but it's like you still got to pay some bills, and it's kind of like organizing your thought process about how do you transition effectively. Because, for example, you got the opportunity to do like the service side of it, right? So you got to do the work. For other people to help build their stuff together.
Sure, absolutely.
And then what's next for someone like you is like always in the products. Like, okay, I built your story, I want to build mine.
Sure.
And that's how people transition from that point to the next stage where it's like, oh, this is how Pokemon got to this level. This is how Marvel got to this level. That's the conversation that a lot of people don't get to have yet. And I'm hoping that during these conversations, we get to get people on that journey.
Oh, sure. So another milestone, man, was, I work for the big three auto companies. I worked for one of them, man, for like 11 years. I say it was about 11 years. So, you got layoffs, man. Whenever a downturn happened, they land people off. So
I know that feel.
Well, look, I'm laid off for a minute. My buddy, who actually is in Hollywood doing stuff, my buddy named Glendon Palmer, he hit me up and was like, hey, man, don't you do comics? He says, yeah, you ever thought about writing movies? I'm like, no. And he's like, did the same thing. So me and my crew, when we had first started our group, Imaginos Workshop, we started kind of really delving into writing. And over the years, man, we've gotten to be pretty strong, man. We got what people consider us at professional level. We got management. So I guess,
magic Fingers got magic, man.
Man, we just, the thing is, man, look, our motto, man, is ultimately is this, we make cool ish, and we also be like this. You gotta have fun. If you're having fun, why are you doing it?
I feel you on that. And this is why even this format of conversation interview style, the reason I did this is simply because I find it way more fun than just talking.
Well, sure, absolutely.
And so whatever is fun for you, find it and do it.
Exactly. Because my thing is this:
So,
you only live one life, buddy. For all we know, so you may as well squeeze all the fun out of it you can.
yep. All right, now we're gonna go to our section. Now, this is where you get to shine a lovely light.
Okay.
So, wait. We're gonna talk
All right.
about your
There you
comic.
go.
There we go.
Man,
So,
42 years in the making, brother.
uh, hey,
Long
hey.
time. So, what you
Yo,
want to know, man? You want me to
oh,
talk about it?
We're gonna start. But yo, you just threw a number out there for me, man. You made me to stop there for a second. We're like, yo, and it's kind of funny because I meet a few artists that's been working on their own craft for like
Right,
a decade or so. So it's
right.
like I'm getting used to these. Started from a long time. I know it's at a point where it's like I feel like this birth is
Sure.
happening.
Oh,
And it's
no
like,
doubt. No
man,
doubt.
if you're a wife and have to carry a baby for 40 something years,
No.
oh,
That's
she wouldn't
great.
even say that.
That's nuts.
I ain't gonna be bad. I'm a different breed. I just like to get stuff out of my head.
Hey, no doubt, man, no doubt.
All right, let's talk about your comic.
Hey, man, so this is Judith, Seven Deaths of Yobi.
What's the story about? Let's go.
Okay, it's about this brother Amaru Jones, man. He's experimented on in our time, turned into a bioweapon, and he ends up battling some foes for these shady guys who made him. And they find out that the process isn't done, so that to put him under for what they think is just going to be like 10, 11 years, it end up being until 2072.
Dang.
So he gets up, he awakens and whatnot, and finds a new world just totally different than where he came from. But he also finds out he has 3 relatives in the form of 3 young orphans. So family is family.
Ooh.
So he finds them and he does what he needs to do. He handles business, but he also finds out that the group he was battling is bigger and stronger now, and they are looking for these youngsters. So he has to defend his family and uncover what these shady cats are doing and how it's going to affect the world. And if he doesn't, take care of business, the world going to be in trouble.
Damn, that's a lot. That's a lot. You have to find it because look what I just heard. I was like, he got forced in the future, basically. Wake up to find his relatives, which barely was left because it looked like his family dwindled.
Right.
And then the organization that was trying to screw him is still about, but they're way bigger.
Right.
And it's like it's a lot. It's fun. I can see because it's like he's waking up in a brand new world. It's probably like, yo, how do you where do you get money from? Is there even money here?
So yeah, he learns quick because at the end of the day, they didn't choose to be this bioweapon for nothing.
Exactly. I'm trying to figure out they woke him up.
Well, again, they messed up when they woke him up. They didn't wake him up right. So there's a whole other stuff.
There's like a million dollar man. The movie, yeah, same foolishness.
All right, they didn't wake him up right, and these guys, boy, these people who are just battling, they got an agenda, and that agenda is about to come to fruition.
And he didn't know that. So, what inspired the idea behind this project?
Well, my thing is this: I'm a hip hop head, man. And back in '83, you had the Run DMCs coming out and whatnot. That's my culture. So I wanted to create a character because I couldn't stand everybody was kissing Wolverine behind back then too. So I was like, nah, ain't gonna be none of that. So I wanted to create a character, man, that was cool like the hip hop cats, but still, hip and smart, and somebody who represented hip hop culture unapologetically. And even today, I make sure that he represents hip hop culture unapologetically. Because a lot of people, people put out, there's a lot of surface hip hop dudes out here, man. You just put the hip hop skins on the character, but the character don't represent the culture.
True. It's funny when my guys were talking about it. He was like that nitpicky about them. Like, just tell the story, man. They'll get it.
Well, the thing is this, like I said, the culture is so much a part of it. It's not even funny, and I try to go into a lot of ancient African mythos. I go into a lot of religious mythos that we have today. Like talk about some Nation of Islam stuff, or talk about 5% stuff, talk about Nubian stuff. Just a lot of
Funny because I was gonna ask you
stuff,
some of the. I was
dope
gonna ask you about that.
stuff, all that, you know.
Yeah. So and I'm just gonna ask the question then. So what kind of themes or big ideas do you want to resonate with your audience then?
Well, the thing is, I want to resonate the fact that Black people come from something, that comes from something ancient, right? I want to talk about the fact that humanity, humanity makes a lot of mistakes, and some of them you can recover from, some of them you can't. And I also want to talk about the fact that, guess what? We live in a galaxy probably full of beings, and we have no idea who those beings are. We have no idea where we fit in. And, in the comic, we learn where we fit in. But it definitely also, man, I want to critique this capitalist structure we live in, too. I spend a lot of time doing that.
Well, we see the repercussions if you don't right now. Sure.
Right. For sure.
So how did you approach developing the main character?
Well,
I touched on this earlier, so I just want to make sure we talk about it.
The main character, man, he had to be a guy with compassion. Because I feel like this, nothing that calls itself an adult male is an adult male or adult man without having compassion for others, man. All right? People like, I'm hard, this and this. Now, everybody, look, I read, there was a quote one time to people and talking about different people's different viewpoints based on who they being viewed through. To the police, he may be a criminal. To his mother, he's a son.
Perspective,
right. And so I wanted to give this guy a broad perspective, which he's going to bring to the future, because the future then forgot a lot of stuff.
Hey, is that what technology does? It's
technology, and even the fact that the manipulation game have worked overtime on them in the future.
Oh, I could, it's doing it now, so I can see it.
Right, it's doing it now. So when he come back, he's like, oh, I know this game old. Let me keep y'all to this game.
Hey, that's why I love talking to like the seniors of the previous generation.
Right.
Because it's like they will point you on game, and then but the difference is not just they put it up, but they can show you some history of it.
Right, for sure. It's like this cat, man, he got a part in the comic when, I've had people be like, man, he's soft. What? Because he shows some compassion to somebody? He know the young girl out here, she out here hustling because she got to hustle. So instead of like, and again, he knocked people off, don't get me wrong. But he's not trying to knock these quote unquote criminals off that he's battling right now, because he already know what they're going through.
Yeah, and here's what I say, man. I'm always about there's a full spectrum of a character.
Sure.
And it's like a lot of main shows kind of skip off of it, and then what happens is they have to come back and figure a way to talk about it.
One thing too, yeah. One thing
I'm like, just say from day one, man. He's a good dude.
One thing too, I reading a lot of manga helped me realize one thing too. This character got evolved. He can't be the same guy at the beginning as he is at the end. So this is one of his forms right here we looking at. One of his transformation of armament, so to speak.
Darn.
He goes through 7 of them in the comic. That's why I call 7 Deaths of the Yobi.
Dang. See, guys, we get to see plot development. We get to see the character go through different stuff. We get a great storyline right here, and I'm just loving it. I almost lost track of where I was. Sorry about that.
Look, I'm telling you, people always be like, "Oh man, you look like Afro Samurai." I said, "Well, I think he's 42 years older than Afro Samurai."
Pretty much. Yeah, that's why I say when you have something that built for a long time, people like mix up like, yo, this you took this from that. I'm like, nah, that ain't that work.
That's for sure, man. That happens, but I don't knock people for that. I understand where that comes from.
It's like, but sometimes that's the motivation for it. You see someone that's like, man, I should have did that. It's like, you know what? This ain't too late. Let me do it.
Right.
So how long do you envision the series running for right now?
Uh, Probably about. But man, I'm probably gonna be looking at 7 volumes, probably.
So
I'm only on the first volume right now.
okay, okay. Yo, listen, you had 43 years to work on it. Now you got
Mhm.
the rest of the days to finish it. So
Right,
the
I'm
way
gonna
I see it
definitely
is,
finish it. Make no mistake.
yeah. So the same way I do with my comic is like I'm really in season 2 right now, and it's
Right.
like I know I have like 4 in me. So
Sure,
it's
sure,
like, and then, and that's just for that one.
sure.
As you go through the creative process, you always want to do another one, a spin
Oh
off or
yeah,
whatever.
absolutely, absolutely.
And,
It's definitely a world. So since it's a world, you
mhm.
got a lot of people want to know about. Like his partner, this chick Cobra Red. That's what they call her,
Mm.
right? And so she
Let's
got a
bring up
whole
Red
other
again.
thing on her own. Yeah, that's the sister right there that's behind me. She got
Mhm.
a whole nother thing on her own. She's a bleeding edge cyborg.
Mm. Cyberpunk feel vibes. All
Right.
right.
Because it's funny, because it's definitely, my love for cyberpunk is definitely in there. But again, it's got that hip hop feel. That's what it has to have, right?
So one of the questions I was going to ask: what part of creating this comic has been the most rewarding for you so far?
Watching this character grow, right?
Mm.
Because I don't believe now that I'm older, the characters are real. The characters tell you what they want to do. Whenever I teach writing to youngsters, they be like, "Oh man, I want them to do this. I want them to do that." You can't make that character do anything. Only thing you can do is get to know the character well enough that when you put him in that maze called your story, you'll kind of be able to predict how he's going to act or she's going to act.
Mm. That's a very interesting way to think about that. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Yo, take that. Yo, audience, take that with you, man. He's basically saying this is a human being.
Right.
As such.
And the character gonna do stuff sometimes you didn't think they're gonna do. You just because again, you know who the person is, and you're like, man, okay, he like this. What would he do in this situation? Instead of
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, I want him to do this because it look cool. You can always tell the fake when you see it, man.
It's so cool.
All right.
Hey, gems, man, gems. So where can people read your comic or buy your comic right now?
My comic, so usually right now we selling at conventions, but we about to
Mm-hmm.
start selling on Indie Planet. We
Mm-hmm.
got we got our couple, we got our first couple three, we got our first 3 comics there already.
Mm-hmm.
We about to start put up the rest of our comic line there, and you can read Judith for free on Comic Fury. It's a
Comic.
web. It's a web comic platform. We
Mm-hmm.
like it because it's small, and we like to support the small underground stuff. So you can
Okay.
read it there for free. So what I got a plan with this too. So we'll talk about the plan a little bit
I'm
later.
on Webtoon, so and Tapas. So
Webtoon is cool. Tapas is cool. I'm all for any of these platforms.
mhm.
Whatever. My thing with only thing my issue is with Webtoons is this.
I
So
got
many
them too.
people on there, you get lost in sauce.
Hey, sumptuous words have never been said.
Yeah,
It's the biggest platform right now for web that specific format of comics,
right.
and it's like you see a lot of pop comics pop off of that stuff, but I'm like every one of them to me says that they're Asian,
Right.
Korean specifically.
And the funny thing is that again, you might get a killer like Solo Leveling, and then everybody flock there, thinking he's gonna be the next Solo Leveling, right?
It's oh shoot! I can't believe I forgot that Space Sweepers were the one that first started off for me.
Sure.
So because I'm sci-fi too, so I like space stuff. And so when I saw that came up, I was like, that's what I want to do.
Oh
I-
yeah, no doubt, man. So again,
and
my
then
thing is that
and
I
then
had
the,
enough of superhero comics,
mm-hmm,
and the world and the world is not based around superhero comics.
mm-hmm. And it's all about betting. To me, the biggest thing when it comes to us as creators is just figuring out the distribution and the marketing of our product.
Right. See, that's the thing right there. Those are two. Distribution is the bottleneck at the end
I
of the
know.
day,
Hey,
right?
Hey, it's funny. Okay, funny because now I get to talk about our sponsors. Give me a sec.
Oh, sure.
All right, let me show this bad boy up. Hey guys, I want to take this time opportunity to talk about our sponsor, My Comic AI. My Comic AI is all about helping creatives just like yourself that makes comics want to figure out a way to monetize and optimize your comics. So if you know how to make a great story, but you just don't know how to turn that story into cash, because let's be honest, we didn't come into this process just to make a story. We came to make an audience and make a living out of it. This platform's all purpose is to help us get to that point of selling 1,000 copies of our comics. So if you're all about interested in learning more, I'm currently doing the beta. So join us and get to and help us build this platform out. See you next time. Let's get back to the story. Let's remove that. We're back. We're back. Sorry about. Thank you for that.
Got to pay them bills, huh?
Of course, of course.
Sure,
Of course.
sure.
But a lot of stuff is stuff that I work on, so it's like I'm paying for it.
Yeah, I can appreciate that all day. So what else you want to know, my brother?
No, yeah. So now it's, as I told you, we got 5 sections. We got the last 2. This is gonna be quick and short because I know you love it. So this is your shout out section. Tell me about some of the creators that helped you along the way.
Well,
you talked about your cousins. I'm assuming.
Well, yeah, my cousins, Mark G and my cousin Daryl Jones. You know, me and Daryl, we think a whole lot alike when it comes to the esoteric stuff. It's important to us, right? And Mark does too. But Arvell Jones, I don't know if you ever heard Arvell Jones. Arvell Jones is a Marvel alumni from here in Detroit. And Arvell has helped out a ton of us, you know, indirectly. My boy Pat Jackson, man, that brother, he is a consummate professional from an animation standpoint. He does comics too, but he definitely a consummate professional. He and I actually developed a training regimen together based on animation and comic drawing. So it's pretty dope. I like to shout out my guys, my young brothers at because Imaginos has a sister company that does nothing but manga called Shining Otaku. So I want to shout out, you know, my brothers there, Irvin Johnson, Che Baker, Mike Seaton, you know, my sisters there, my sister Esther Airy, my other sister Brianna Moment there, or the Tenacious Bree, and my young sister Anthea Calhoun Mikachu. She got a art show coming up. She always doing a lot of fine art stuff. And then the rest of my Imaginos brothers and sisters, my boy Joe Kane, you know, Joe letters all my stuff, you know. And then, like I said, we got 20 folks in there. My business partners, Nick, and I
was gonna say, don't forget nobody. You went down the rabbit hole.
And just imagine those all together, man. We got like 40 guys, man. So, you know, we trying to put it down. We trying to get it together. We also screenwriting stuff too, man. So we moving along that trajectory too, like I was saying.
Man, so that's a tight ass mix of people and supporters that are.
Well, the thing, man, is this, right? We a family, and that's how we roll. You know, we try to look out for each other. The older ones look out for the younger ones, and you know, we get stuff done. That's who we are.
Yeah, it's fine. So now you touch on the wrap. So I'm going to do a wrap up next, and you did touch on a few stuff. So now I have to ask.
Okay.
What next for you and your comic after this current project?
Well, my comic is overall with Judith, man. Judith is gonna be a life's work. You know what I mean? But like I said, we planning on selling some. We plan on selling some pilots and some films, so that we can fund our stuff without having to go begging at the trough. That's our main thing.
Hey, it's all about the process, right?
Right.
Do you have any new projects or upcoming announcements you want fans to watch out for?
Well, okay, so I'm working on. We got this. I I do a lot. I'm a big mecha artist, and I hang out with a lot of mecha artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about doing this project called Battle God Shaka Musa.
Yo, you said Battle God or Battle
Yeah,
God?
Battle God Shaka Musa. So basically,
That's...
it's a mech story based in the future Africa.
Mecha. Oh shoot, we haven't had a good mecha for a minute.
People run from mecha art, man. Because again, they run from it. I don't know why everything's fantasy these days. Battle God Shaka Musa. Currently, I'm working on Joe Kane's his superhero comedy called Paragon Panic. This guy, man, hey, this guy Oliver, his name is Oliver Christmas, dude. He a would-be superhero. The brother can't get no breaks, man. That's like Joe Kane. I'm like, Joe, what you don't like? Oliver, what's up, man?
Can't get no.
He just be dogging this dude, man.
It's like I got powers, but no one likes me.
Man, he a likable dude, man, but he be stumbling over his feet, man.
He's showing up late to the rescue.
Hey, bro, he late to life. This guy.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So, all right. So
But he still keep on trucking though, man. I'll give him that.
So like Hancock. So, lastly, and I would say to everyone, all these places will be linked in the description. So, any place that we talk about right now in terms of links and places you can show your support, we keep it in the description. So check it out once the opportunity, and just say something in the comments. Let us know that you were here and you watched this. All right. So tell everyone, where can they find and view your work.
All right, so all of my work, go to dirtbomb.deviantart.com. You'll see a plethora of my work, from video game stuff to comics to role-playing game stuff, and then some commission stuff there. Check us out at imaginosworkshop.com. You know, we do a lot of educational stuff too, so you'll see a lot of that soon on the website. And you can check Judah Fist out at Judah Fist comic at I think it's Judah Fist comic at comicfury.com, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. It'll be in the description if I got it wrong.
Yeah, no problem. We have all the links below. All right, so I want to thank you again for coming on the show today. We had such a blast just talking about your
thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
No problem, man. It's all about the shout-outs and all about the community.
Oh, for sure, man, for sure.
All right, so everyone, this is another episode of Behind the Comic. I'm your host, Sean Fuller, and I look forward to seeing you on next week. Peace.
Peace out.